This game. Oh, yeah, the art is not that clear. You may not know what this is unless you can read Japanese. This is Yoshi's Island. This is the game I wanted to go over, but it's gonna have to wait. Unfortunately, I don't own an American copy, but on that version, the game is also referred to as Super Mario World 2. So this means I'm gonna have to go over the first game, even though the title was simply added to sell the game. Wait a minute. On the Japanese version of Mario World, the game is referred to as Super Mario Bros. 4. Fuck! Yeah, I can't be asked to go over Mario 1, 2, and 3 now, alright? We're doing Mario World. Let's go, like he says. Released initially in 1990, this game was a launch title for the Super Nintendo, or Super Famicom. It didn't come out until 91 in the US, unfortunately. It sold over 20 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling SNES game of all time. I did grow up with this game, not with the SNES release, but with the Game Boy Advance port, Super Mario Advance 2. I can still remember the awesome feeling when the seasons changed after you got all 96 exits. I still can't believe I was able to beat some of those special world levels at such a young age. There's no denying that this game had a huge impact on gaming as a whole. There is a large community surrounding this game having to do with both ROM hacking and speedrunning. Over 6,500 speedruns have been verified for the game, and an entire website exists called SMW Central, where ROM hacking is discussed. Clearly, a lot of people love this game. But why? Does it really deserve the praise it gets? Let's find out. That logo, man, is iconic. If you saw my version differences video, you'd know it looks a bit different in Japan with a larger drop shadow to be more fitting with Mario 3. The title screen has a nice little gameplay demo showing what you're about to get into. Oh yeah, and I don't mean to flex, but on my Japanese copy I have two 98 exit files. No, not 96, 98. I'm just that much of a gamer. Alright, let's dive into the game. Quick note that 2-player is also a thing that exists in this game. Nothing special, just some back and forth stuff with Mario and Green Mario. They were really too lazy to make actual Luigi sprites. Fuck it, just shift the hue. ROM hackers have created a better 2-player that works like New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Go play that instead. You get introduced to Dinosaur Land, and guess what? Princess Peach, or Toadstool, is kidnapped. Shocker. Looks like Bowser is at it again. You start off in this area called Yoshi's Island. No, not the actual Yoshi's Island. You have Yoshi's house here, which is just a house, and 2 levels to the side. The controls in this game are pretty solid. Basic, but solid. Nothing to complain about here. Some people may consider Mario's movement to be a bit on the slippery side, but it's fine in my opinion. Already, right at the beginning here, you have a choice. It is such a simple thing, but I love it when games give you freedom like this. In a way, this does make the experience feel more interactive and immersive. Most players will decide to go to the right, but curious ones will wonder what's up there. Right here in Yoshi's Island 1, you already start off by seeing new enemies and new level environments. You can get a mushroom here, and you probably won't get a fire flower unless you come back again. Mario climbs the ladder and you see Yellow Switch Palace. New mechanic right here, the switches. After pressing the yellow button, the yellow squares will now turn into solid boxes. Enter Yoshi's Island 2 and you'll find Yoshi. Yoshi is the biggest new mechanic in this game. I mean, he is the biggest thing in the box art. Yoshi can act as extra health in a way. You can also essentially kill him in order to do a larger jump. Reddit. Am I the asshole? There are also different colored Yoshis that can do different things depending on what's in their mouths. Yoshi can make levels a lot easier, but there are some reasons why you wouldn't want to use him. I'll get to that later. He can't go in castles or ghost houses, by the way. Next, you do the rest of the levels in Yoshi's Island, possibly run into the Fire Flower power-up, which works just as it should, and then you'll find Iggy's castle. There are several of these castles scattered throughout Dinosaur Land. You do a castle and face the boss. Yeah, every boss in this game is ridiculously easy, especially if you have power-ups. After each castle, Mario proceeds to destroy them. Here he blows it up. Unless you're on the Japanese release, you can still replay these levels by pressing L and R on them. Yeah, after all this, you can finally save. You can save after each castle and ghost house. That's it. Kinda limits the areas you can save at, so don't game over. If you are afraid you will, just play any ghost house and save after that. Donut Plains 1. Oh yeah, I think this game likes food. Here you'll get introduced to the Cape Feather, most broken power-up to ever exist. You can literally skip entire levels with this. This is why you would not want to have Yoshi sometimes. I wouldn't recommend doing this for the entire game though, it's so cheap. Here in Donut Plains, you'll also get introduced to secret exits. Levels that have a secret exit will be flashing red and yellow. Find the key, put it in the keyhole, and access a new path. Sometimes the secret exits aren't always from keys though. Some of the exits are pointless, but if you want to 100% the game, you'll need to complete them all. This first one in Donut Plains brings you to a water level. Do the secret there, then play a ghost house. Do the secret exit there, or what I believe is the secret exit by fighting a boss, and then, yes, Star Road. Probably my favorite part of this game. I always thought this area was just so cool and trippy. The normal exits here do absolutely nothing, so you'll need to get the secret ones. After each stage here, you get access to a new star warp and you can view other parts of the overworld. It's kinda cool. After getting all the exits, you'll be able to access the areas rather than just being able to see them. One of the stages is very long. Yeah, sometimes if you have items and bring them to the end of a level like I did here, you'll get rewarded for it, which is kinda cool. Star World 4 is supposed to be completed with the switches activated, but Cape Feather is a thing. After you complete the first 4 Star World stages, go to the Star Warp and... yeah, that's right, you can already beat the game from here. This game can be beaten easily with only 11 exits. It can also be beaten with 0, but let's not discuss ridiculously complex bugs I'll probably never fully understand. This game gives you a ton of freedom with how many levels you choose to do. By completing the game with 11 exits, you skipped 85 exits, the majority of the game. I love it. Obviously, you shouldn't play the game like this, but it's an option, which I love. Back to Star World though. What happens when you beat Star World 5? Another stage you're supposed to do with the switches, by the way, but Cape Feather strikes again. What? What's this? Another bonus area. The Special World. The area where you'll find the level on the title screen, by the way. This is where the game really gets difficult. This is where all the challenge is stored. Some of these levels are brutal and ridiculous, but that's awesome. And you know what's even more awesome? The fact that these challenges are optional. Perfect. Nailed it. God bless Super Mario World. If you're not a scrub though, please do them. They feel really rewarding to complete. If Special World is too easy for you somehow, there's always Kaizo Mario World. I will not be playing Kaizo Mario World. After beating the secret exit in Donut Ghost House, you unlock Top Secret Area. This place is very useful because you can quickly go in and grab a Fire Flower, Cape, Yoshi, and then leave. It's a great little area to go back to if you need power-ups. If only Mario didn't walk so slow on the map. Something I love about this game is the sense of exploration. Dinosaur Land feels pretty big and it does give the feeling that you're traveling all over it by having the map screen. After Morton's Castle, you enter a cave and do levels which are, you know, in a cave, cross a bridge, and do a bridge level. I don't know, man, I just love the way this game executes what it's going for. You'll probably see levels like this fortress on top of the mountain, and as a new player, wonder how you could possibly get up there. Stuff like that is cool to me. Oh yeah, the fortresses. They're similar to the castles, but you fight Reznor at the end of them. Or Bui Bui if you're playing the Japanese version. Watch my version differences video, even though it's old and outdated. After Ludwig, you enter the Forest of Illusion. Cape Feather is still broken, by the way. I'm on my 96 file now, which is why the seasons changed, but you do Chocolate Island, then play one of my favorite levels, the Sunken Ghost Ship. You beat it by touching an orb, which is kinda strange, then the scary Bowser pops up and then you're in the Valley of Bowser. His castle has a ton of doors with different challenges behind each until you eventually reach the end. But if you unlock it, you can also enter the back door, which puts you right next to the big red doors pretty much. The final boss is pretty easy. I remember I used to struggle with this as a kid, but it really is not that bad. As mentioned before, considering I struggled with this, it does make me question how I beat the Special World levels though. I don't know, maybe I possibly cheated, I do not remember. You need to throw the things he throws back at him. I don't know what these things are. He gets angry and throws bowling balls sometimes. Some wacky effects happen. Yeah, cute little ending, nice credit scene, but man, they're long. These credits are long. They go over the names of the people who worked on the game and then the names of all the enemies. Anyone else thought this image was a bit disturbing? Super Mario World, a very basic SNES game. Even the graphics for this system are very basic when you compare them to games that utilize special chips like Yoshi's Island. It's still a good game though, and I bet it was seen as amazing in the early 90s. I can understand why though. The sense of exploration it gives off is really cool, and some of the levels feel really rewarding to complete. Also, when the season changes after getting all 96, what a feeling that is. As mentioned earlier, a ton has come out of this game, such as crazy speedruns and countless ROM hacks. I've seen quite a few people who prefer Super Mario Bros. 3 to this game, but to be honest, I barely remember it. It's probably a game I'll check out in the future. Overall, Super Mario World is pretty solid, especially for the time it released. If you have not played this game and enjoy 2D platformers, you need to play it. It's a good experience. Quick little behind the scenes here, this is how messy it gets when I'm constantly swapping carts. Also, the setup has been redone. We got this new curved ultra wide, it's 1440p, 144Hz, pretty sick. And we got the old ultra wide on top. The other ultra wide broke, I had another one of those. But as you can see here, we are chilling at over 960 subs. This is awesome, guys. Thank you so much for the support recently. For real, I can't thank you guys enough. We are almost at 1K. It's gonna be pretty sick. But for now, we're finally done with Super Mario World. Let's put these games to rest. Literally. Good night.